Right. Now I got through, people have been emailing me and have been kind of, will you talk about this, will you talk about that, and so on, which I think is a good idea too, because it's given me a chance to be more user-friendly to people, what they need to do, like that empathy one. I thought, and a lot of emails about that.
That's very good.
So one of the things that I wasn't going to do this, but I'll do it, is one of the questions was, how do I live in the world?
Oh, yeah.
All right. What's my perception of the world? In other ways, what's my daily practice? How do I go around the world? What's my thinking on the world? Because people have heard about my experiences of revelation, of being awake, and everything else. So let me go. So this is basically, how other people live in the world. That's up to them. But how I live in the world, this is how I would learn. So one of the first things I learned in the world, right, was the laws of cause and effect. Okay? If you don't understand the laws of cause and effect, you will never understand how anything in this world operates. Okay? And it's, to give you an idea, it's this, and I keep it really simple. Okay? I seek for nothing outside of myself, and I never experience pain. You can't get more simple than that. Okay? I seek for nothing outside of myself. Now, if I was to seek for something from you, from anybody, or from this world, I lose my center. I'm outside myself. I've activated the separation. Now, I will experience some form of pain. I will experience lack. Okay? I will experience guilt. I will experience fear. I will experience anger. All because I've been seeking for something outside myself. And I won't do that. I'll be very, very vigilant for what I seek outside myself. Now, I'm not talking about going to the shop to get milk. I'm not talking about form. I'm talking about content, which means psychological. I'm not seeking for love outside myself. I'm not seeking for respect outside myself. I'm not seeking for anything psychological outside myself or emotional outside myself. So now because I live that law, I escape all pain and suffering. Now, is there anything more simple? So you ask yourself this: what is it that you're seeking for outside yourself? And is it worth it? Is it worth? Let me read this for a second. I think it's called The Development of Trust. Have we got it there? No, I don't have it. We'll move on. Basically, in the development of trust, is you have everybody's doing a Course in Miracles. You have 3 stages you're going through. You have the undoing part, you have the sorting out part, and you have the relinquishing part. Okay, so what I'm really talking about here really is the relinquishing part and the sorting out part. What I'm sorting out is, what is it that I need outside myself? And then, is it worth it? And now, can I relinquish that? Alright, so what you must do is ask yourself this question: what is it that I am seeking outside myself? And do I really want this? Is this, put a value on it? What Jesus is saying, when the sorting out period, you will sort out, you will keep what you see as valuable, and you will relinquish what is valueless. So what you're asked to do here now is you're asked to make a decision. What is it that is important in my life? What is it that I want? Okay? And what the real test is, what is it that am I seeking outside myself that I need to pay this high price at? Because what you're doing is you're denying the bliss. Inside you is an abundance of peace, joy, love, and bliss. And every time you seek outside yourself, you're saying, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want this bliss. That's what Eckhart Tolle was talking about, remember, in The Power of Now? When he was talking about the intro to it, remember about the guy who was sitting on the box?
Yeah.
Remember he was sitting on the box? Yeah. And he never ever opened the box. And that, what he's really saying is, we never look inside. The box is inside us. And we never look inside. But we're sitting in this great, great, great treasure. And it's there. And it's abundance. And it's never ending. It's eternal. It's immortal. But we never look inside. Okay? Because we're always seeking outside. So that beggar was sitting there on the box. And he was begging for scraps of change, scraps of food outside of himself. He was seeking outside of himself. So right at the beginning of the course, you have Eckhart turn around and saying, don't do this. Why would you do this? Look inside the box first. So that's what I do. I found the box, and I've kept the box. And the way that I keep the box is I seek for nothing outside myself. The other thing that I do is I live the law of one. And this is more simpler than it sounds. So the law of one states this, that we are all equal. There's nobody here any better or any worse. There's nobody here any more innocent or any guilty than anybody else. Can you accept that? Can you accept that? That's where we all must become equal with each other. This is what Christ is. Christ is, we're all the same. We're all the one. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. So as long as I feel that I'm better or worse than anybody else, what am I doing? I'm denying Christ. I'm keeping myself asleep. Why would I do that to myself? I look around me and I see everybody the same as myself. I won't put anybody up in a pedestal, and I won't put anybody down either. Because when I put people down, I put people up. When I put people up, I put people down. You know? So neither put people up or put people down. Neither conquer or be conquered. Okay? So it's a great motto to live your life. Never basically conquer or be conquered. So that's how I live. Remember, this is about how I live my day and how I see, you know, and think and use my mind for the way that I perceive things in the world. The next thing that I do, 100%, responsibility. I take responsibility for everything in my life. I mean everything. Everything that's going on in this world is my responsibility. Everything going on around my environment is my responsibility. Everything that I see in you is my responsibility. I'm responsible for it. Why? Why am I responsible for it? Because I give everything I see its meaning. So imagine if I seen something in you and I'm going, wow, why did you do that?
Why do you think I did?
You know, I'm saying, you know, I'm not responsible. Am I not? I'm saying you're responsible for that. So we see things on the other side of the world. We see things down the street. We see things in the news. And we go, how did that person do that? What are we doing? We're not accepting responsibility. Now we have just invoked the separation. Now I'm seeking outside myself, because what I have secretly done is I place guilt on this person by saying, you're responsible for this. I'm not responsible for it. I see it, but you're responsible for it. Now that's the height of the arrogance. That's pure arrogance of the ego. Now this is a tough one to take, because it makes you now responsible for everything in the world. And the ego can jump on that and now make you feel more guiltier than ever before by saying you're responsible for all of this now. And that means you must correct that. And how you correct that is, again, you know, that the whole world is an illusion. So the ego makes a move, you correct it. The ego makes another move, you correct it. And that's what being awake is about. It's the ego is continuously trying to pull you back into that dream. Okay? The next thing that I will do, I will not judge. Why?
Just judging yourself. You be judged. Judge yet less you be judged.
Yeah.
It's
how do you judge?
Doing you, isn't it?
How do you judge?
Usually condemn or criticize. But you can judge either way. You can put somebody high on a pedestal too. That's judging.
How do you judge? In a simple, practical way.
It's total separation. It's putting them somewhere at a different level than you.
Every time that you seek outside yourself for anything, you enter into the world of judgment. When you are seeking for nothing outside yourself, you're without judgment. You're the same as God. When you seek for anything outside yourself, one step here, now I'm in the world of judgment. I can't avoid judgment. Judgment's not the problem. Because I need judgment to find what I'm seeking for. Isn't that right?
Right.
Because judgment means rejection. And for me to find what I'm looking for, I have to reject. Maybe I'm seeking for love. Okay? So what I have to do to find this special love, I have to reject all the special hits, all the people. I have to find that special person, don't I? So I need judgment. So the problem with judgment is, when you invoke judgment, you take the whole lot. Now you have all the judgments. And all the judgments are coming in thick and fast, and they're not very nice. You know, they're not very nice.
So no degrees. You take one, you got them all.
You got them all. So judgment to me, anytime that I find myself judging someone, what I do is I use that as a template, and I go, oh, what was I seeking for outside? Because I had just literally been mind-wandering for a moment or two. I've been, without me knowing it, I've been seeking for something outside myself, but judgment tells me I'm outside myself, so I'm able to correct it, and now step back in again and go, I want to look at this from here. What have I been seeking for outside myself? And I can usually find it pretty quick. And it's always been something very, very subtle. So judgment will always tell you that you're seeking outside yourself. You can live in this world without judgment. And that's the way God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, everybody sees you in this world is without judgment. Now, when you're without judgment, you don't see the bad that people do. You only see the good. Why?
Because you're not seeking outside yourself.
Yes, but only the good is real. When you're without judgment, okay, when you're in the spiritual universe looking at this world, you don't see the wrongs that everybody's doing. You don't see the errors that everybody's doing. You don't see the mistakes that everybody's doing. Jesus doesn't see that. God doesn't see that. Because they don't exist. We only see them existing in this world. So Spirit, the Holy Spirit, does not acknowledge your errors. Remember that? The Holy Spirit does not see everything you do wrong. It only sees what you do right. And that's very important to understand that, because a lot of people feel guilty about all the mistakes that they make, especially doing A Course in Miracles.
When you say doesn't see, can't you just translate that you don't do anything wrong?
Of course. But we believe that we do when we're separate, you see.
Which is what I was trying to say, or I say a joke to myself. I try to find ways to be vigilant, because it seems like the ego's thought system is just a really bad habit that we get used to. And the undoing of that, when I'm somewhat conscious, or I feel like I have to be vigilant. And it seems that, oh, let's say I'm having a week of being vigilant, and I'm making up the time frame, but it could be a week, and I'm going, wow, I'm reading the Course, I'm really getting it, and just when I think I'm getting it, swear to God, no pun intended, the ego comes in like the back window back here where I can't see it, and ka-ching, it's there.
That's right.
So, how do you have any, I hate to use tools, I was going to say tricks, tools in your basket to help us, or just keep, I feel like I should get a tattoo. If you're looking outside yourself, don't. You know, that's it.
Just put it on your fridge. Put it on your door. Put it on your car. See, Jesus says, see.
I'm thinking right here, tattoo, right here. You know.
Man, I have one there. I have one there.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. Seek not outside yourself.
There you go.
Wow.
Very
cool. You know, you're
How did I didn't even know you had a tattoo. Oh, the oneness is getting here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
ultimately in this, that's your responsibility, is to find the way of knowing this, remembering this, of learning this for yourself. That's the only responsibility you have.
Right.
Is the book, the knowledge, everything's here. You have to find a way of living this, of applying this. That's the task of the student. I must live this. Knowing this means nothing. Living this means everything. Okay?
Correct, I understand. And your visual of stepping forward
Yeah.
and backward made me think, I had this description of the course in my mind of, I feel like I'm walking 3 steps forward, up, a step backwards, a couple more forward, up,
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure if I got any steps in there. I don't know how many, I don't really keep score, but I have been noticing in whatever space-time continuum I'm in that things seem to be getting better.
Yeah.
Less pain is arriving.
Yeah. The
So,
more that you're in your center, and I call it my center. Eckhart Tolle calls it the now. Okay?
right.
Now.
The now.
The now.
Okay, other people will call it many other things, okay? But if you said to people, you know, are you in the now? What does that mean? But what I find much more easier for people to digest and understand is, what are you seeking for outside yourself? Lead us not into temptation. Okay? And that means, you know, it's very easy. What the course is really all about is when you stop seeking outside yourself, you stop denying the love of God. Every time you're outside yourself, you're pushing God away, you're choosing the ego, and you're choosing pain, suffering, and death, and you're denying life, bliss, joy, and peace. So why would you do it to yourself? I wouldn't do that to myself. So, yeah.
What do you think about the process of detaching and being the observer,
Yeah. Well,
where the ego is concerned?
yeah. The process of detaching and becoming the observer that's what forgiveness does. The more that you forgive, the more you detach. And eventually, what you're going to do, remember the last forgiveness lesson was where you look back on a forgiven world. And that's where we detach from the world completely. That's when we enter the real world. That's our final forgiveness lesson. Okay? When we look and we forgive the whole world as we detach completely from the entire world, the entire thought of separation. So forgiveness, the more you forgive, the more you detach. The more you detach, the more you're at peace. The more you're at peace, the less you're going to be seeking outside yourself. So you can see it's like a snowball effect. All right, and the good news here is this, is there's a transformation taking place inside each and every one of you as we speak right at this moment. And you know what the good news is? You're not in charge of it. That's good news. But do you know what you are in charge of? How long this process takes. You're in charge of time. Because wakening up is letting go. The more that you let go, the more you waken up. So what you're in charge of is wakening up, is letting go. Okay? So the quicker and the more that you let go, the speedier your wake-up's going to be. And that's good news. But
when you
underneath,
say let go, define let go.
well, you might see yourself as guilty. Can you let that go and see yourself as innocent?
Oh, yes.
You're letting go of your perceptions. And you're letting go how you perceive yourself, how you perceive other people.
Yes.
So you're only letting go of how you see yourself and see the world and see everybody in the world. It's not about letting anything physical go or anything in form go. It's just about letting go of your perception, your false perception. Okay, so that's what it's all about. So, let's move along. To me, I will love unconditionally. Because to love, as we've done already, with conditions is not love. It's the ego's form of love, and it's going to cause pain. And I will not cause myself pain. I will give everything I have unconditionally. I will not put conditions on anything that I give to anybody. And what that means is when people come to me for psychotherapy, for sessions, okay, they'll come to tell me the story. And I never tell that person what to do. Because the whole point of this is for that person to learn to use their own power of their own mind.
Yeah.
So what I do is I present two choices. I go, you can do this or you can do this. If you do this, this is the effects. If you do this, this is the effects. Now it's up to you. I have no investment whether that person does what I say or not. Now that's unconditional. Okay? If I give, say, Deirdre, you the tool forgiveness, and I say, right, here's this tool, great tool, right? And I'm going to check up on you tomorrow to make sure you used it. I haven't given you anything. Do you know? Because now I'm giving it to you provided you use it. And I'm going to make sure you use it because I'm going to check up that you use it. So you can see now how we put conditions on things. So anything that I give it unconditionally. So that means all the work that I do with the course, with the talks, with the videos, with everything is unconditional. And it's up to people themselves whether they want to do this or not do this. Totally unconditional.
Right. So to clarify, as a psychotherapist, all you're doing basically, and I don't mean to be lit up, I said all you're doing, but what you are doing basically is just steering them back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the way we do that is choice. Remember,
and
free will.
You have a choice.
Yeah.
This or this.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other way, how I live my life in full acceptance. And what that means, this keeps me out of a lot of bother. Alright? Because now if someone's in a bad mood, fine, I can allow this person to be in a bad mood. If someone's angry, I can allow them to be angry. If someone's upset, I can allow them to be upset without it having any effect on me. And as we discussed already, if it has an effect on me, then I'm very vulnerable. I'm not in charge of my own destination, of my own life, if I am susceptible to other people's emotions. Am I? You know, I'd be walking around and I would be really, walking on eggshells. Oh, I better not upset this person. And this is what we do. I better not upset this person. Because now they're going to be angry. And if they're angry, I'm going to be upset. And if I'm upset, now, So this is the way we work in the world. We dance around or we be very gentle around certain people because we don't want to annoy them. Well, there's another way to do this. Just allow that person to be annoyed whenever they want and not affect you. And that's what I do. I can have people, and people come to me all the time very angry and very upset. And they come with me with a story. Okay? And part of the story, I can see it in their eyes, is they want me to believe their story and they want me to get upset and to join them being a victim. And I won't do that. But I do empathize with them. Okay? So acceptance is something that I will basically do every single day. Trust is the next one. Who do I trust? Who do you trust? Diana. Jody, who do you trust? One answer.
God, or
do you know God?
Reflection of God.
Do you know God?
No.
Well, how can you trust God when you don't know God?
My right mind.
Do you know your right mind?
Sometimes I think I do.
You see, what I'm really trying to say here is
Yeah.
you can only trust what you know. Who do you trust?
My gut.
All right. Do you know your gut?
I feel like it tells me
Yeah, when you feel
strongly.
Okay. Sandy, who do you trust?
No.
Gloria? Yeah. Who do I trust? No one. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I don't need to trust anyone. When I trust someone, I'm putting a debt on you. I said, I trust you, Julie. So that
and
means
then you give them
I'm
power
giving you something.
to
Yes.
bother you.
Well,
if they break the
what I'm
trust.
doing, I'm setting you up. Every time that I say, Julie, I'm trusting you, I'm setting you up because when it goes wrong, I get the pleasure of blaming you.
Of blaming, right.
Because it's all set
Right.
up. But
Right.
I
say once removed, so
Yeah. Okay?
yeah.
So I don't trust anybody because I don't need to trust anybody. Okay? Now, what you're asked to do in A Course in Miracles, who are you asked to trust in A Course in Miracles? No.
Holy Spirit.
No. You know neither. No.
No one.
Forgiveness.
Oh.
Because if you use forgiveness, you'll know it works. And you'll always trust something you know. So what Jesus says in the Course, it's very obvious that you'll be trusting your ego because of how you feel. And what we're asked to do is remove our trust from the ego and place our trust into forgiveness. And now we place our trust in forgiveness every day, and that trust will bring us to know God. Okay? So that's trust. So what I trust no one. I trust only in forgiveness and the tools that I have. Okay? The next one is honesty. Okay? Diane, are you honest?
Sometimes.
How?
Pardon?
How are you honest?
I'm honest with how I feel, how I think,
Okay?
what I feel, what I think.
Alright. Jody,
I don't know.
are you living an honest life?
I don't know. I think in some arenas, yes, and in others, no.
Honesty in the Course calls for what you see.
Meaning I step outside of myself for
Yeah.
my happiness.
Honesty really means you have to be honest with what you see. You have to be honest with your projections. Okay? Do you know what a rationalization is?
Absolutely.
A rationalization is a lie that you tell yourself that you believe to be true.
Right.
Mhm.
That's dishonesty.
Right.
Okay?
Mm.
Okay? I'm going to be doing a little video on rationalization and truth in a moment, and we'll come back to that. Remind me of that with you.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's very important. That's the two most powerful forces in the Course. The ego's most powerful tool is a rationalization. Okay, Jesus.
It's like a Band-Aid that gets you to not look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Right.
And Jesus' most powerful tool is complete forgiveness, which is the truth. So we'll get to that. We'll come back to that one.
Mm.
So. To live an honest life is to practice forgiveness every single day. Okay? Trust only in forgiveness. Tolerant. Okay? Are you tolerant? I lead a life of pure tolerance. Do you know what that means? You know, in the Advanced Teacher of God, there's one of the characteristics is tolerance.
What does that mean?
In the world, we think tolerance is, Deborah, you could be putting up with Paul. You're tolerant to Paul. Alright, is that a good thing?
Probably not, because underlying this, that's the root of I haven't accepted it.
Yeah, I'm really saying is he's annoying you, but you're going to put up with it.
Yeah.
Alright, the key is he's annoying you. It's not that you're annoying you, it's he's annoying you. So you're projecting onto him, you're projecting your guilt onto him and all of this, and now you're basically saying you're going to put up with it. Your reasoning you're putting up with it is because you've already attacked him. You've already projected onto him. So it looks like now that you're the martyr, but in reality you're the villain because you attacked him first. Because you placed the annoyance onto him, and now he's only playing out what you asked him to do, and now you're pissed off with him and you're saying, right, you're the blame, it's nothing to do with me, and I'm going to put up with you. So that's tolerance in the world's version of tolerance. Okay, tolerance in the Course means not to judge. Okay? When I'm tolerant, I'm without judgment. So how am I tolerant of everybody in my life? I don't judge. And how do I not judge, Julie?
Don't step outside yourself.
I seeking for nothing from you. So how do I not judge you? I seek nothing from you. And that's how you'll undo that tolerance of Paul, is you'll look at Paul and you'll say, what am I seeking from you? I'm not going to seek this from you anymore. Okay? Now, that's going to be difficult, because you're using him at the moment for a lot of your stuff. Alright?
Is that where that, I think it's a psychological expression, or it's in psychology, that if you really want to hold on to a relationship, let go of it.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Same as what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. And let go of
Any expectations
conditions.
and conditions on
conditions,
another.
judgments, everything.
Just keep it inside. It's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
If it's all us doing us, why would we go outside?
What,
Is
yeah,
that bad habit?
what destroys all relationships are the conditions we put on them. I'm not getting enough of this, I want this, I thought this would be this, I expected this, all of these kind of things. Alright, that is the destruction of all relationships.
Right.
Do you
the opposite of letting go of them. It's like reeling them in, and another thing, and another thing.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the problem is then you'll sit down and you might go to mediation, you might go here and you go, right, I'll work with this and I'll do this with you, and you get into this kind of like a business transaction around all of this, so you work all these things out. That's what most people do. They'll go to marriage counselling, they'll go to therapy, they'll do all of these kind of things. Does it work? No. One massive big fucking band-aid has been put on the whole thing. Because the underlying content here is the problem is not us in the relationship, the problem is me in the relationship. As long as you make it an us, you're not taking responsibility, you're not accepting, and you're not practicing forgiveness, then the relationship is fucked. End of story. You can play and drag out all the pain in the relationship for the next 5, 10 years. But ultimately, unless you step back and look at this and take full responsibility for everything that's in this relationship, based on A Course in Miracles, then nothing's going to change. You're denying yourself that peace, joy, and love and happiness that's inside. And I won't do that. I simply won't do that. So I'll be tolerant of everybody because I'm seeking for nothing from anybody. So now, remember, all judgments are attacks, so now I'm attacking no one. Now no one's attacking me. Okay? Which leads us on to the next one. I will lead a gentle life. And do you know how I lead a gentle life? Okay, gentleness is one of the characteristics of the teacher of God. To be gentle means not to attack. And not to attack means not to judge. Okay? Another way I live my life, I am completely open-minded. And that means being open-minded, I will allow you to believe in whatever you want to believe in. You want to believe that the Course is wrong? I'll allow you to believe that the Course is wrong. If you want to believe that Jesus was not a very holy person, I have no problem with that. I will generally stand back and allow you to believe whatever you want, and it has no effect on me. Okay? Very, very important, that one, being open-minded. I think it's the 10th characteristic of the advanced teacher of God, open-mindedness. And really what it means is, don't let anybody else's belief separate you from that person. Okay? Patience, then, is the final one. And I have an abundance of patience, except when sitting in traffic in LA.
That's funny.
So now I'm fucked every day.
Yeah.
So you can see how you can set it up.
It's a big forgiveness
It is,
opportunity,
of course.
right?
Of course. But again, being impatient will tell you that you're seeking outside yourself. Because time and space only operate outside yourself. Because now we become slaves to time because we need time. We step outside of ourselves seeking for something, and now I must find it as quickly as possible before I die. Okay?
Yeah, I want it now.
No, I want it not. Okay. So that's what it's really all about.
But is that really true when we say I want it now? Because we can have it now. So there's something in us stopping it.
Well,
I'm not saying it's anything out there. There's something in me stopping me because I could do it right now.
Well, you see, the ego knows its days are numbered and it's a slave to time, and it wants it now. Because the ego doesn't know when you're going to wake up, but the ego does know you're going to wake up. So the ego is under pressure in time because the ego only exists in time. So as long as you align yourself with the ego in time, then you're always going to be impatient.
Sometimes never mind. Well, I was going to say, sometimes I feel like I slip into time warps and have it now.
Yeah.
And then I blink and I lost it. Is that something I'm making up in the dream? And it's, I mean...
Well, when you say you have it now, what does that mean to you? That you've got it?
I just, there will be moments, and it could be a fraction of a second. I have no idea that just perfection exists. Everybody and everything is beautiful and peaceful, and I see no problems anywhere. It's like, what we would call here negatives don't exist.
Yeah.
And then wow, and then I lost it. Where'd it go? And it's like, where'd it go? Are those little tastes that we get, or those little glimpses, or am I? But then I go, did I just dream that? Was that part of the dream?
The more that you use the tools, the more you do the work, the more that's going to happen. And it's little dreams within dreams. Okay? You know, and here, this is a dream within the main dream. This is another dream within a dream. This is a dream within a dream. This is a dream within a dream. Only what's above here is real. Everything beneath this is illusions. So this world is an illusion, this world is an illusion, this world is an illusion, this world is an illusion. This is the only thing that's real at the very top, which is heaven. So you're going to be going in and out of different consciousness, different levels, both within the course.
And you see how you wrote them like that, like one on top of another, on top of another, on top of another? My whole life I never remember my dreams. I remember I had one and it was yucky or good, and I wake up and I go, what, I forgot it, you know? And I had a dream recently, a week or two ago, and what you drew there, it wasn't like that though. It was all collapsed together. It was all happening simultaneously.
Well, that is all together. It's all in the one place, but I only separated to show you the different levels and degrees.
Right.
So all of that is one.
Right, and what the dream felt like was, I was like, picture those like their plate. You'd like to have your plates, and that they're all together, and that I was jumping from, if I could say, plate to plate or level to level, and it was all, and it's like, now I pick this one, now I pick this one, now I'm going back here, now I'm going this. And to say going, because there was no space, there was no time or space. So, and then I got this clarification and kind of woke up with chills, and then I had a memory of the dream, but I've lost the feeling behind the dream.
Yeah. You're going to have a lot of that happening. The more you waken up, you're going to be in and out of different altered consciousness. Okay.
So I'm not going completely crazy?
No, you're already completely crazy. You're actually going insane.
I'm going uncrazy.
You're going uncrazy.
Okay.
Okay, that's the end of how I would perceive and how I live my life, because I think it's good that you see how you know, that it's not just a fairy tale, and how you can have a great life in this world, as long as you know the rules that exist, that you don't seek for anything outside yourself.
Wow.
And it's not that you're not going to be seeking for things outside yourself. You are, but it's you do not become attached to them.
Right.
That's the key. Okay. You are going to be seeking outside yourself.
Right.
But let me read you this here first, okay? And now this is the differences between preferences and attachments.
Oh, good.
An investment, all right, is an attachment that you simply cannot do without, because if you don't have it the way that you want it, it will take your peace away. A preference is something that you would like to have, but it's no big deal if you can't have it. It will not take your peace away either way. All attachments are designed to take your peace away. That's the way the ego has them set up. Okay? So let's just look at this for a second. Here, the separated self exists, and here is all your attachments. Each one of these attachments is guaranteed at some point in your life, every day, or every second week, or every month, to at least take your peace away. That's why you have it. These are all vital to this separated self, or ego self. If the ego didn't have the attachments, then it wouldn't be as strong as it is. The bigger the ego, the more attachments. Okay? So you want to look at your own life and look at your attachments and say, right, do I really need this? Because an attachment is something that if you don't get it the way that you want it, you're going to be either angry or depressed. So let's say you could be wanting to drive around LA at a certain time in the evening, okay? And you'd be really angry now with all the traffic. You can see how you're setting the whole thing up? Okay? That now the reason why you have this attachment is to project your guilt onto the traffic, onto LA, onto other people during the road. That's the way the ego is set up. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you really need to do here is you need to do a self-inquiry of everything in your life, especially all of these attachments. And I want to just read this again. An investment is an attachment that you simply cannot do without. Because if you don't have it, it will take your peace away. Okay? Now, this separate itself needs attachments because that's what makes itself real. Okay? If it has no attachments, then it doesn't exist. Okay? So that's just a quick one on attachments.